It is a story about the spirit of a nation and its will to fight.
Hi, my name is Diego Hurtado Mendoza, and I was the producer and co-director in this film.
John Weinbach, executive producer and writer of People's Fighters.
So it's a beautiful film about a very courageous population of Cuba that rose beyond everyone's expectations to become the best and the greatest in the world of Olympic boxing. And also, I think that it's a story that shows how sport can bring countries together.
Greatest Olympic boxer of all time.
How politics and pop culture and the human spirit interplay over, almost 5 decades since the rise of Castro, and how it had this focus at the Olympics because it had such import for the country to show, the success of the socialist movement, the success of the Castro regime, and how these boxers were in that position to be really icons and political symbols of Cuba.
Teofilo Stevenson, this is a knockout.
Teofilo Stevenson is one of the only 3 boxers in Olympic history that has managed to win 3 consecutive gold medals, and the first one that did it in the heavyweight category, which made him instantly a sports icon. But within his country, in Cuba, he was much more than a sporting figure. He became someone that represented the values for a lot of Cubans and that fighting spirit that they all have.
The boxing world clamored for a definitive battle between Cuba and the United States, between Teofilo Stevenson and Muhammad Ali.
His career arc mirrored Muhammad Ali. And because he could not fight Ali, that became a significant storyline on its own. And we get into that in the film.
Every Cuban coach that we talk to says that rhythm is very important for them, that music is part of their culture, and that translates into the way they box or they compete in sports. But what we saw also is that there's probably something else that Cubans share, and it's a fighting passion. They've been fighters forever in their history, and that really shows in the way they commit to the sacrifices that fighting at that level requires.
There was this added layer of significance that these guys really were, aside from Castro, and some of the musicians of Cuba, were the most significant people in Cuba.
Sacrifice, starvation, in a way that Cuba had not ever had to face before, certainly not the Castro Revolution.
Anytime you deal with Cuba, there has to be a political dimension. But we wanted to get in a way that it wouldn't come across like propaganda from either side, and that you would see both sides. We were able to juxtapose the journey of Guillermo Redondo, who's their most significant defector, and we have this great scene on the beach with older boxers. And it came out really well, and you see them kind of let go a little bit and say, hey, this is how we're living now. Maybe some of the promises of the revolution weren't kept.
It's all about making your country proud. That's the Cuban way.
Cuba has lived some of the most interesting,
unique
times in the 20th century. I mean, their history encompasses so much. And all these athletes that we interviewed lived through that. I mean, they are just example of what happened to people because of those ideals. And it is, again, it was a time when the world had a fight for ideals, something that I don't know if we have anymore. So it was very beautiful for us to be able to dive into that universe of ideals and listen to people and see why they fought for certain ideals and what worked for them and what didn't, and how did all that turn out in the end.